Hey everybody, welcome back to Stamping School, getting you ready for the new mini catalog coming up September 4th. And this is a suite called Season of Elegance. So I didn't buy the stamps. I'm going to use some different stamps for a project today, but I wanted to show you what this paper looks like because it's just gorgeous. And I am doing my paper shares and my ribbon shares and accessory shares. So if you like to get a little bit of everything, look at the link below. It goes to my blog. And you can sign up for 6x6 squares or 6x12 of all the papers in the Holiday Mini. And it's nice because then you don't have to buy each pack individually and you can try them out and see how you like them. So this one is gorgeous. It's on page 25 and it's called Season of Elegance. And basically it's got the gold through each sheet. So this one has the creams and the beige. And there are two, actually, so you get 2 sheets of everything, obviously, 12 sheets. But if you look, this one's just a little bit different. So they have that. And then the back sides are what would you call that, with the oil paint on a canvas. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, really pretty. There's a peacock one, which is gorgeous. Look at the back. And then 2 of these olive green, which actually morph into mossy meadow also. So there's 2 different ones of those, just like the cream. See how it kind of goes through it. It's just enough. I'll show you the card I did. It's beautiful, I think, that we're going to make today. This one right through the center, and there's little splatters of gold in the cherry cobbler and red. So you get red and cherry cobbler, so it works well with both. And then the back side. And then also in the suite, there's these gold, sort of like, they have a little bit of glitter in them. They call them gold, but to me, they're called gold textured adhesive dots, but to me they're more amber. They go really well for fall. I don't think that they say shiny gold to me. They're amber. They're pretty yellow amber. So I plan on using these a lot for fall. I probably prefer, like we have our metal, shiny metal dots. We've got, you can do sequins. These are called Druzy embellishments, and they are kind of bumpy, raised, glittery gold and silver. Those are pretty. And I remember that we also had these that they carried over from last year. These are the copper, gold, and white snowflakes. So those are still available from last year. So those would give a nice little shot of metallic to your holiday things. And then also in the suite, there's this really pretty cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. It's small, it's like 1/4 of an inch, and it's kind of satiny, and it ties nicely. This is really pretty. And there's also an embossing folder. So it's trees, but they're kind of artsy trees. It's a 3D folder. So if you do it on plain cardstock, it's kind of hard to see. But it's like multi-dimensional raised trees. So more to me like a painting or something. I took a sponge dauber and I just gently went over, and you can see how some areas are raised up even more. So it starts out embossed and then it raises up and raises up. There's almost like 3 levels to it. So it's kind of cool. I think the best way to see this is by doing a little bit of sponging on it, or maybe we can do some ink techniques with the folder. So I think that would be kind of cool looking. The other folder that I like even better though in the catalog is this plaid one. Check this out. I love anything plaid, and it's sort of like those hand-drawn plaid, so it's not perfect, which I like, and it's huge. So it's 6 inches by like 8.5, so that you can run a whole piece through. It fits the whole length of the folder, and then you can, for one pass, you've got 2 card fronts, which I think is brilliant. So can you see the texture? So it's really cool. Here it is on gold, so you can kind of see a little bit better. A little shiny gold, but it's got big plaid and small plaid in there. So that one I think I'll use a lot this season. So this card, I'm using that really pretty Season of Elegance paper that I just showed you in the cream. I'm going to change up these two trees and make them white and see how that looks, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the blue. But this bundle is in the catalog, and it is on page 40, and it does not look anything like it does in the catalog. In the catalog, it's small. If you don't like the new format, like I don't like the new format of these catalogs where things are not in true size, please write them and tell them that it's hard, because we don't like to go to the website every time we want to check a size, but that's what they want us to do. I want them back in the full sizes. So when I got this, because the dies in the catalog look much smaller. So in the catalog, they're like this size, and they're really nice dies and a great bundle. So it has 4 dies. It's called Christmas Labels, page 40. And they're 4 dies. This one is awesome because what you can do, you can add a different sentiment strip across here, or you can cut this apart. Also with the slits here, we can put ribbon through, okay, to make, it's going to be great for cards and things. This one right here matches a lot of the sentiments, so it's all in one. So one stamp like this one, Merry Christmas to You. And again, there's some little cutouts in here so you can use it to put your ribbons through. Same thing with this one and this one. I'm going to be using this one on a fall card next week. So I'll show you, look how cool. You can just run your ribbon, or you can run your sentiments right through this way, or up and down. The slits are up and down too. So I think very useful dies. The stamp set has To You, so you can layer these around. Believe, Warm and Cozy, Peace on Earth, Celebrate the Holidays in All Ways, Love and Joy, Hope Your Season is Filled with Magic, Winter Wishes, Merry Christmas to You, It's a Hot Cocoa Day, Sweetest Plum, Candy, Be Merry. They coordinate with a lot of the stamp sets that are in the catalog. Now, when I get a big set like this, I will stamp the whole thing before I take it off the sheets. I stick it right in my old Stamparatus like this. I put the whole sheet, I tape it down in the whole sheet, and I stamp everything first. So I have it, so I can really look at it, and I can play around with what fits everything, because, this is much smaller here. But if you notice, this fits 2 of them on here, like Merry Christmas to You fits. It's a Hot Cocoa Day fits. And then all of these, like this one, obviously, is on an angle. So these fit on an angle, the Winter Wishes and that. And then same with these two. These two will coordinate with all the sentiments in here, which I really like. So anything that coordinates, I'm in, to make things easier. Then as the years go by, because we keep these stamp sets forever, as the years go by, you'll have this registration. You can just cut it and keep it in your stamp set, and then you'll be able to just hold it over different dies or punches and see what fits. Now this card I did in the shaded spruce, but this is what it looks like in peacock. So this is the peacock paper. This paper is just so gorgeous. If I did this one again, I think what I would do is I would take these 2 trees and I would do those in white down here and then keep this one gold. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to change this to white because I think it needs the white trees instead of the gold trees here to stand out. So before we glue this down, I want to make my little snow here. This is just a 4-inch little piece of white paper, and just make your own snowbank. Whatever you want to do right there. It can be this way, however you want to do it. Just make a little swoopy snow. And you can decide, do you want to stamp on it directly to save some time like I did here? I just stamped the sentiment. Or do you want to use one of these little labels or something that you have? I'm going to do that so I can add some ribbon. Just glue that down. And then the sentiment, I'm going to do it on that label, that Christmas label in shaded spruce. These are the photopolymers so you can see where you're going, so you can pre-cut your labels if you want to. I got a tiny little feather that went like that. Ugh. That happens because Do you see what I did? When I pulled it off, I went that way. And there's just enough of a little fiber or something in there that it took it with it. You gotta go straight up. I'll save this one for someone who can't see as well. Someone who's not gonna notice. So you wanna make sure there's no fuzzies on it, and there is a little fuzzy on this one. Just enough. And I see there's a couple little fuzzies on here that I need to get off. So I'll just take some packing tape and take off those little fuzzies. Okay, straight up, much better. Also, if your pad is too juicy, it can cause little splatters in there. So this one, I want to run this shaded spruce ribbon. That's in the catalog too. We've had this ribbon in lots of different colors over the years, including white. It's a great ribbon. It's organza. It's got satin in the middle. 10 yards. So I'm going to go through the top here and under. Just like that. And then we'll just glue it around the sides. So just dimensionals to hold that down. Before I put this on, if I want to do any splattering, like with the Wink of Stella or something, then you want to do that first. And we also want to add our moon, our big white moon here. This one I did as a decal, but you could punch a circle. This one is decal. This one I'm going to do is just a solid circle. So I'm going to imagine my tree is going to be about there, so I'm going to do it there. So because I want to do a little wet with this Wink of Stella, it's a little wet, I want to make sure that I do that before I splatter this, and then it'll bleed. So I'm just doing a little sparkle right there. It's it doesn't pick up well on camera, but it's there. It's just a little extra something something. This goes across right here and on the back. So you're not using a lot of ribbon. And then I'm going to bring the gold in with a little bit of that gold trim. Then we can glue this down on the shaded spruce card. I tend to do a lot of side folds during the holidays because people love to like stand them up on mantles or wherever. And if I do a top fold card, they tend to over time unless you do a tent fold. So this one is a side fold. So the trees I am bringing in from the Frosted Forest, which I used a few weeks ago. These dies right here. Any tree dies you have will work. I just love a good green pine tree. It's a little delicate to glue down because it's so fine. So make sure you've got a good, oops, don't do that. Make sure you've got a good light hand and just dot your glue. I like the Tombow Multi-Glue the best. I've tried so many different glues. Sometimes I put it in a little fine point applicator, but I just find just a little bit. And if you get too much, you can always like tap it off on an extra piece of paper or something just to take off the extra. So this will go right here and a little bit up on the snow. And instead of the green trees, I'm going to do white. Same die set that the little skeleton trees. And I'm just going to take off, I only want 2 trees. So I'm going to cut this one apart and I'll show you what I did with the other one on the inside. So we're just going to cut that off. And then we just need to trim this down a little bit so I can stick it down in there. Gives it a little place to glue also, which is nice. I can tuck it there or tuck it behind my sentiment even. If you tuck it behind your snow, make sure you don't glue down too much. So I'm not even going to bother gluing these down. I think they'll be okay. I kind of like it. And a few bling, and also the gold. But for those of you that bought the dragonflies and have a ton of birds left, these are perfect for the holidays. These little doves, they're like doves. Like for peace on earth, look. They're awesome. So I find that I use up the dragonflies during the summer, and then the winter I use these. So these are all still available. And this ribbon is still, to me, it's still available. It's one of the online exclusives that we've had for a long time. It's a pack of 2, gold and silver trim. It's only $9, 10 yards each. I I love these. I've used them so much, but just a little bit of gold down here. Just a little like 3-inch piece right here. Just to bring the gold down to the lower level. And just tie it in a little knot. And you might have to tie it twice to make sure it stays. And then add your gold sequins and whatever else you want to add. Sequins or embellishments, or I'm partial to sequins because they're flat when you mail them. So I definitely like the white better than the green, but depends what you like. Here's the blue, the peacock on a peacock card. This was such a close transition that I trimmed this down and then I added a white layer behind it, and I cut my circle from that white layer to save on paper so you can't see the hole in there. And there's no ribbon on this one. No ribbon, just sequins. And again, I would do white trees here instead, but then on the inside, I took that other tree that I cut off because I only did 2. I took the larger one, stuck it on the inside with the winter wishes and a little bit of sparkle. You got a little room to sign here, and if you really want to say more, you can put a little panel here. So that's it. I'd say that paper's a winner. Get the paper. September 4th, it's available. But until then, go sign up for my paper shares, like and subscribe, do all those YouTube-y things, and we'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.